is the Jones and Avery Show.
Hey everybody, this is Kaelen Jones. I'm here with Kevin Avery, and you're listening to the Jones and Avery Show. Kevin, how have you been, man? I know you're on vacation. How have you been feeling lately?
Jones, I can't wait to start talking sports again, and a lot's happened since our last podcast, but hey, that first show went great.
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
To keep it going.
Definitely. Alright, Kevin, so let's kick this thing off. First topic we want to bring up, Nick Foles and Michael Vick have been involved in the quarterback battle throughout the entire offseason. Chip Kelly has still yet to name his starting quarterback for Week 1. He's elected to give Vick the Week 1 start in preseason, which they played against the Patriots last night. They lost the game 31-22. Vick went 4 for 5 with 95 yards. Nick Foles will be starting next week's preseason game. Kevin, what's your opinion, and who would you start if you're Chip Kelly?
I think Chip Kelly has a named his starter just to give Nick Foles a fair chance, but it's obviously Michael Vick. I mean, he fits Chip Kelly's system, where he ran at Oregon, fast-paced offense, up-tempo, which last night's game didn't seem like it, and he didn't really pick up the tempo from Nick Foles out of there, which the offensive line didn't show Nick Foles the same kind of protection it did for Vick in the first drive. But I was really surprised with Michael Vick. I didn't get to see the game, but I saw the highlights and saw some of his plays. And 4 for 5 for 84 yards, including a deep bomb to Deshaun Jackson. But the one play that got me the most was 3rd and 6. Threw for 22 yards on the first down, which he had a lot of trouble with last year. And so, I think it's a no-brainer. You got to give it to the veteran who has been there and done it, especially for a rookie head coach. You don't want to be when they're blindsided, not knowing where you're going to get with Nick Foles, who last year only got a couple starts. And I think the obvious choice is Michael Vick.
Oh, yeah, Kevin, I agree with you 100%. I do believe, I've always been a fan of Nick Foles since he was at Arizona, but I think Michael Vick deserves the opportunity, especially when you're looking at the situation that he was in last year. This year they drafted Lane Johnson with the 4th pick in the draft to add protection. Vick only played in 10 games last year, and in those 10 games he was sacked 28 times. That's nearly 3 sacks a game. I think if you give this guy the opportunity to sit in the pocket, even though he doesn't have the same type of accuracy that he once had, he still has that cannon arm, and he still has the great ability to run, which, like you said, fits in Chip Kelly's offense much more easily than I would say Nick Foles, even though he does have pretty decent athleticism.
There's no doubt about it. All right, so we move on to our next topic, Jones. RG3 ACL has been the story for the Redskins this whole offseason. If you were Mike Shanahan, how would you handle this whole situation this upcoming season?
Well, in my opinion, if you're Mike Shanahan and you have a quarterback who's competitive like RG3, that you got to let him play, right? But Shanahan has got to be smart in using him. He's not a big quarterback. He's 6'1", about 215. You got to be able to have less designed runs, which he's already said that he will. You got to trust the running game a little bit more, which he had Alfred Morris last year show up, ended up winning, he was my rookie of the year in my opinion, if you didn't check out my blog. But I think that RG3, you just got to be careful with him. Last year he threw for 3,200 yards, had a 65% completion percentage. He had 20 touchdowns against 5 interceptions. If you're Mike Shanahan, I think you also have to look forward to the future, which is why I don't blame them at all. I actually congratulate them for resting Griffin throughout the entire preseason, because you can get a piece back for Kirk Cousins. You could probably get a first-round pick. The way that he's playing, he's proven himself to be a capable player, especially last year when he filled in for Griffin during his injury. I think that you get a first-round pick back. And we've already seen if Griffin could have more pieces around him. I mean, you look at his offensive weapons now. You have Santana Moss, Avery Henderson, Aldrick Robinson, Leonard Hankerson, and Pierre Garçon. You don't really have a standout number one. I mean, other than Garçon, and the question whether he can stay healthy, I think he's a better number 2. But if you can trade Kirk Cousins this upcoming season and get a piece that supports Robert Griffin offensively so he can throw the ball more, I think he's going to be Hall of Fame caliber eventually.
Yeah, no doubt. If I was Shanahan, though, I might sound crazy, but I would run the option less and try to develop Robert Griffin as more of a pocket passer. I mean, he's shown he has great accuracy, great arm, and I would treat it, look, Aaron Rodgers can run, and you don't see him running every single play, so you made him more of a traditional drop back quarterback instead of this option running, giving him 12 rushing plays a game. I think that's another thing that can help his health a lot. And, and Robert Griffin has to get the coach your job as well by just fighting. That can help them so much for the future. And I think the season's going to be good for the Redskins. I think RG3, I don't think he should start week 1, considering that he still hasn't been cleared for play. I think they're in a good position with Kirk Cousins to win without Robert Griffin. Not as much, but it's not a horrible situation. It's actually still a very good situation, showing how Kirk Cousins has played so far in the preseason. But yeah, everything you said is spot on, and I totally agree. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our break for the show. We have a new segment coming up. Stay tuned and see what it is.
It's going to be called Biggie or No Biggie, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you tune in. This is the Jones and Avery Show, and we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is Kaelen Jones, and you're tuning in to the Jones and Avery Show. Kevin, we got a new segment here on Jones and Avery, and it is called Biggie or No Biggie, where we're going to talk about some of the controversial topics in sports and discuss whether or not they're a big deal or no big deal at all. All right, Kevin. Our first topic for Biggie or No Biggie is Dwight Howard's troll over the weekend, where he got into a Twitter argument with a follower. She said, "You ain't ever going to get any rings." Howard's response was, "With that face, you ain't getting one either." Yeah. 18 hours later, though, homegirl came with a big slapback. She said, "LMAO, got one unlike your baby mothers." Kevin A., is this a big deal or a no deal?
It was a big deal. D12 got slapped by a Twitter follower. And when she said, "I've got to worry about myself, I can't be worrying about what other people think," and she gets into these arguments with people, tries to slap them back with a comeback, which was good. But then he gets slapped harder. This is just horrible. This ruins his image, his social image, and everything. Now everyone's going to be wanting to get an argument with D12 because he has no comebacks after that.
Kevin, I agree with you 100%. I think this is a big deal. I think the fact that she brought up something that's really personal, something that he still hasn't responded to, but at the same time, Kevin, this kind of shows his immaturity. And really, when you think about it, I don't think, even in competitive nature on Twitter, I don't think you get superstars like Kobe Bryant or LeBron James who are going to ever step into a ring with a Twitter follower and start beef over something like that. It's kind of nonsense to me, but at the same time, it is a big deal. It's a call on Dwight Howard to whether or not he's going to mature or, well, maybe he'll be successful having fun as he did last season.
Yep. All right, next topic. Biggie, no Biggie. Paul Pierce saying he's ready to take the rivalry to the New York Knicks and make the Nets the king of New York. What's your take on it, Jones? Biggie or no big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal, honestly. I think he's going to only be there for, 2 or 3 more years. I mean, the Knicks aren't, I don't think they're nearly as good as the Nets who reloaded.
Correction. 10 more years he's in the Lakers.
Oh, my goodness. Paul Pierce ain't playing no 10 years. That dude already looked like he was in regression last year. He already looked old as heck, looked out of shape. I don't know how Paul Pierce is still playing NBA ball, but that's what makes him one of the best of all time. I'll give him that. But I just don't see it. I don't think it's a big deal at all, really. The Knicks aren't that good. I mean, you look at the Nets, they got Brooke Lopez, to go alongside their new additions in Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, alongside Joe Johnson and Darren Williams, with a stacked bench like Andre Kirilenko, et cetera, et cetera. It's Brooklyn has this matchup. There's no rivalry here. No biggie.
No rivalry. Well, I have to disagree with you there. I say it is a big deal because now the Nets have some backbone in their team. It looks like they finally have some confidence and they're ready to take on the New York Knicks and show Carmelo who's the true team of New York. I think the Nets really need this. Last season, it's a great roster on paper, but there really is no leader on the team. Brook Lopez, great center, not very vocal. Darren Williams is too inconsistent at times. I think Paul Pierce, this is a nice rivalry coming that I think New York needs and the NBA needs as well. And I really like this for the Nets, and I can't wait to see how this rivalry plays on. All right, bringing up, switching sports to the MLB. Fans have mixed reactions with Daylight's return to New York. Jonas, biggie or no biggie?
No biggie. This is expected. This is the New York Yankees. I mean, they've booed tons of great players before. Nonetheless, controversial players that they've had in their locker room or on their squad. Alex Rodriguez, naturally, the situation that he's in, he's going to naturally have people who are against him because he's going against the naturalism of the game. But at the same time, I think it's respectful of Yankee fans who do cheer him because it shows support, shows appreciation for what he's done while he's been a part of that franchise. But at the same time, this is kind of expected. Yankee fans are Yankee fans. It's kind of public opinion at the same time, but it's kind of expected. So no biggie.
No biggie. Nothing much to say about it. Basically, they're right on point. Of course there's going to be mixed reactions. People are going to love him because he can help the team, and people are going to hate him because he lies. So, no surprise there.
All right, Kevin, let's talk about our last topic, and this happened just yesterday. Albert Pujols is allegedly taking steroids? According to a source on ESPN, Jim Clark, a former four-time All-Star who hit 340 home runs in an 18-year career, said Pujols' former trainer, Chris Millfield, shot him up, quote-unquote, allegedly over a decade ago. Millfield's response was, quote, I haven't talked to Jack Clark in close to 10 years. His statements are simply not true. I have known Albert since he was 18 years old, and he would never use illegal drugs in any way, unquote. But the most interesting comment, Kevin, was Albert Pujols' response. Quote, I am currently in the process of taking legal action against Jack Clark and his employers at WGNU 9:20 a.m. I'm currently going to send a message that you cannot act in a reckless manner like they have and get away with it. If I have to be the athlete to carry the torch and pave the way for other innocent players to see that you can do something about it, I am proud to be that person, unquote. Kevin, is this a biggie or no biggie?
Well, I think you have to look at it from two situations. In one way, it could be a no biggie because Pujols has been in the league for years now. He's been tested 1,000 times. He hasn't tested positive. If he were taking steroids, he would have been caught a long time ago. Something would have came up. And then at the same time, it's kind of a biggie because now you're having guys like Jack Clark who really don't have their life together. He just now filed for bankruptcy, and maybe he's trying to get himself in the media. I don't know, but it's just not right to be calling out great players like this and trying to cause controversy. I don't know what kind of story, if he did make it up or if he didn't. And that's another thing. This could be a big story. If this turns out to be an A-Rod or Ryan Braun type of situation, but I don't see it going that far. So I believe in Albert Pujols. He was quoted on saying, I've said time and time again that I will never or even consider taking anything illegal. My faith in Jesus Christ and my respect for this game are too important to me. I will never be able to look at my wife or kids in the eye if I had done what this man is accusing me of. End quote. And right there, that's just, he doesn't need to say it anymore. I believe in him, and I don't think this is going to get blown out of proportion anymore than it already is.
Oh, well, Kevin, you know why this is a big deal? Because he's got a $240 million contract, and he's coming at this dude. I mean, if you read this quote, he's saying, I'm going to send a message. He's going to come at this dude. I think this is a big step towards other players, not like clean players like Albert Pujols is claiming he is, around the league, who are being, like we even saw Chris Davis just recently, who was asked whether or not he takes steroids, and he simply answered on Twitter, no, just N-O. I don't think that's fair, and really, it's not on them. It's not on the clean players in the league. I fault guys who have been taking steroids and guys who have tarnished the game through cheating, and really, I think this is a big step. You know why? Because now players have a voice. Now there's this anti-steroids, this is like good and evil now. You're going to see guys who are like Alex Rodriguez who are going to be depicted as villainous. And you guys see as Chris Davis, Albert Pujols, those type of guys, Derek Jeter, who's claimed as heroes. Clean guys who have been true to the game and have always held his virtues. I see it as a big deal, but it's a step in the right direction. I believe that the players deserve the right to fight, to prove their innocence, and that they shouldn't be subject to being questioned like this, especially by a guy who hasn't talked to the guy in allegedly 10 years. I'm tired of that. But it's still a big deal for Albert Pujols.
Oh, no, yeah, no, great point. That's why I was saying how it depends how you look at it. I mean, no big deal because I don't believe he took it, but big deal because of the accusation, and just like you said, he's paving the way for other innocently accused athletes across the league. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our news segment, D and No B. Let us know how you like it at our Twitter at Avery Jones, at the Jones and Avery Show. And next up, Jeanie Buss commenting on her father in D12, saying her father would have been able to retain D12 and favorable NBA matchups coming right up.
This is the Jones and Avery Show. Kaelen Jones, Kevin Avery. We'll be right back. Tune in. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are back on with the Jones and Avery Show. This is Kaelen Jones, and I'm here with Kevin Avery. Kevin, over the weekend, we had some drama in Lakerland. Would you like to fill us in on that and the reaction regarding Dwight Howard?
I can't hear you. Jones, hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, Kevin.
Okay, actually, wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Can we restart that? Because,
Yeah, that's
I heard you introduce it, and then cut out, and I heard Nation, and I cut out, and I heard it.
All right. Kevin, would you like to fill us in on that?
All right, we got Jeanie Buss commenting on the Dwight Howard situation and her father. Quote, they would have probably had a better relationship if my dad hadn't been sick. When it came trying to convince Dwight to stay, we lost the best coach in the business, Dr. Buss. End quote. She said this Thursday on 710 ESPN, and later on would say, quote, putting up the billboard maybe it wasn't the right thing, but maybe we have to learn to do things differently because Dr. Buss isn't here anymore. People said, oh, that's not the Laker way. Well, the Laker way isn't the same because Dr. Buss isn't here. I've had a few people say, you guys are better off without him. You know who those people are? People from other NBA teams because they don't want us to have that kind of talent. I myself believe that you always want to hold on to talent, and I was disappointed that Dwight chose to leave. Certainly he is well within his rights with free agency. I just don't agree with his decision. So there we have it, Jones. I believe that's shocked that her brother Jim was. Especially when she said the billboard probably wasn't the right thing. You know, I feel like Jim was maybe closing the door on Jeanie, telling her, you know, you focus on the business, financial side, let me handle talent and basketball. But really, Jeanie has been around basketball for her whole life. You can't deny that. She knows what's going on. You know, she ignores the fact that she's getting married to Phil Jackson. She would have picked Phil Jackson in the first place. You know? And I think this is saying that Jim needs to step up his game, and that, you know, it wasn't the process that he's doing isn't right.
Right.
And Jeanie Buss is speaking on behalf of Lakers Nation. This is how every Lakers fan feels, you know. The billboards came up and it was like, what is this? We have to beg for the man to stay with the Lakers? I mean, what's your take on it, Jones?
Well, personally, I feel like Jim just isn't the right guy to run this team. And I don't mean to be inconsiderate of the fact that he's lost his father, but I just feel like Jeanie has the right mindset. I mean, every report that I've read, every time I hear about Jeanie Buss, it's something positive. Jim Buss has, to say the least, he's faltered under the pressure. And I think that Jeanie taking a shot, like you said, I believe this is a shot at Jim Buss as well. And it's not necessarily to bring him down. It's just to notify him that it's not working. What he's been trying to do, his schemes, his motions have just not been working to work with the team. I mean, they're still a talented team. They have Pau Gasol. They still have Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant. Like you said, Nick Young. Guys, they've been able to add to free agency over thanks to Mitch Kupchak. But I think if Jim Buss really wanted Dwight Howard back, he would have signed Phil Jackson. And that's something Jerry Buss would have did. I think that Jerry Buss would have brought Phil Jackson right back in. I think that you have Dwight Howard still. Phil Jackson's there. And I don't know if there's a power struggle or if it is just consciousness for Jim, whether he can't handle the fact that his sister's husband is more loved than he is, but it's the truth. I mean, if you want to be a part of it, then you should be a part of it, but don't bring it down. He should have stepped aside, let Jeanie take over, and let Phil Jackson come back and he should have brought Phil Jackson back to LA. That's my opinion.
Well, I think part of the reason why Jeanie still was is she didn't pose for Playboy back in the 90s, so that might be a reason. But that's aside, joking aside. You know, I think the main thing I got out of this interview with the rate at 710 ESPN is how it seems like she wasn't in the mix, you know? Saying putting up the billboards maybe wasn't the right thing, but maybe we have to learn to do things differently.
Right.
Maybe. It's like as if Jim isn't having her involved in these conversations on what they should do.
Right.
Basketball team, you know? I mean, last I heard, Jerry Buss left the team to his children, you know?
Yep.
Yes, he did put Jim ahead of basketball operations, but you have other staff that's supposed to help you and guide you to help make this team better. Because what you see is the right thing may not be the right thing. You know, and that's why you have Nick Kupchak there, who in my opinion right now is the best GM in the league, considering what he's been through, what he's done, and the way he's held this team together. You know, and I think Jim needs to sit back, look at the bigger picture, and make basketball smart decisions, not emotional decisions like he did with hiring D'Antoni trying to bring back Showtime Lakers for his father.
Right.
You know, and, you know, like I said, hopefully this is Jim kicking the butt, and hopefully things turn out better for Laker Nation in the future. Alright, last topic of the night, Jones. We got NBA matchup schedule is released this week. I'm so excited, Jones. Who do you have favorable matchups?
Oh.
Or as most intriguing matchups?
Oh man, I got three really. First of all, the opening game for the season when the Heat play the Bulls, Derrick Rose when Derrick Rose came out, I mean what is he supposed to say when he's asked who's the best player in the league? I don't fault him for saying that he's the best player, and still number two, I don't fault him for not playing in the semis last year against the Heat because I don't think the result would have been different. But I think this is really anticipated.
The last podcast, you know, we touched up on that exactly.
Oh yeah. And,
going on that?
I don't think that he was faulted for that. And he's an MVP caliber player. He's won MVP before. And this is a very talented team. This is a team that without Derrick Rose, without a former MVP, took the back-to-back champions to 6 games. And I think if you have
without Luau Deng as well.
if you have a healthy Luau Deng, it's over. I really think that the Heat are going to have a power struggle with facing the Bulls. And personally, I don't like it when they play the Bulls. I don't know if you've been a witness to that. Anyone that's seen me during a Heat Bulls game knows that I'm nervous as heck because they outplay them. They out-hustle them. This is a hustle team. It's always an intriguing matchup to see LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh take on the Chicago Bulls because they're so physical. Kevin, what's your first intriguing matchup?
All right, well, let me point out some of the most popular matchups throughout the league. We've got opening night, like you said, Miami at Chicago. Derrick Rose is supposed to return.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got December 11th, the Doc Rivers returns to Boston. The Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see here. Next we've got Christmas, Heat at Lakers, Chicago at Brooklyn, OKC at the Knicks, Houston at San Antonio, who San Antonio surprisingly only has, I believe it's 12 to 14 nationally televised games.
Right.
To a Lakers Heat in New York 21. So, and then we've got January 24th, January 24th we got Brooklyn, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce return to Boston.
Oh yeah, that's one of mine.
January 14th, the match that I'm most excited for, D12 returns to the City of Angels. Hopefully, Kobe will be back by then. But the one, that's everything that everyone's been focused on and everyone's been hearing about. But the one matchup that I'm looking forward to most is November 9th. Cleveland goes to Philadelphia. Andrew Bynum returns. I'd like to see how the crowd is going to react to him after missing the entire year because of bowling.
Right.
And Cleveland is looking pretty strong this year, and I'm pretty excited for them, especially with Kyrie Irving.
Oh yeah.
Entering his third season.
Oh yeah.
And Philadelphia, sadly, have not improved at all. And hopefully Nerlens Noel can turn that team into a new direction. But for me, that's the one matchup that I'm looking forward to most.
All right, Kevin. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end. And Kevin, it is time for the closer.
All right. My closer tonight is going to be Shabazz Muhammad, who got kicked out of a rookie minicamp. This is only 4 days. Go there, learn what you're not supposed to do, be brought into the league. That's supposed to be a fun activity for rookies. Got kicked out for having a female friend in the room when you're not supposed to have any. You know, this caused a big controversy, asking how he's mature. No big deal. Okay, Mario Chalmers got kicked out for having a party. Michael Beasley had the same party with Mario Chalmers, you know. I mean, it's a rookie camp. I mean, I don't see a big deal with it, but Shabazz needs to follow the rules, and that's my closer for tonight.
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
I got my Oakland Raiders definitely picking up the 17 win over the Dallas Cowboys to open up the preseason. Kevin, if you didn't... Oh, yeah, preseason football, baby. This is preseason football. And if you didn't see the game, Oakland started the game off with a fumble by Matt Flynn, but who quickly recovered himself, drove down the field. Sebastian Janikowski hit 2 field goals. Eddie Carmona hit a couple. And the Oakland Raiders defense, may I say, looked very, very good, contrary to belief. I believe that the Raiders will end up with 5 to 6 wins this season, which I know is low expectations, considering you're a Broncos fan. I know. But Oakland definitely has upside, and they're definitely looking up, Kevin.
You know what I feel bad for you about is that the biggest sign that it seems like this offseason is Sebastian Janikowski.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me.
4 years. 4 years.
Excuse me.
I don't know. I don't want to know how much money.
Excuse me. Charles Woodson was your son. That's my favorite player. That's one of the best defensive backs of all time. So excuse you for...
Sebastian Janikowski, I mean, my phone was blowing up with that. 4
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
There's your heart and soul of the team right there in that lake. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the conclusion of the Jones and Avery show. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and follow us, DM us on Twitter, DM us any ideas or anything that we need to improve on at Jones and Avery Show. And Jones, get us off with our show.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Jones and Avery Show. I am Kaelen Jones. I'm here with Kevin Avery. And thank you and so long. Have a good day, good night, so long.